Hey everybody, my name is Todd Ronan from Reality Forecast, and I'm back again with Liz Cross, Psychic Medium. If you want to find out more about Liz Cross, you can go to her website, psychiclizcross.com. And I also encourage everybody to check out her Patreon for additional content that you don't see on YouTube. It's patreon.com, remote viewing and beyond. Please support Liz there. And hey, how you doing, Liz?
Great. Thank you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Share. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, and share Ronan's channel, which is Reality Forecast. Great stuff.
This is one of the first serial killers that came to the United States, and we've got some interesting requests about him. So I thought we could bring him in. Name is H.H. Holmes, and some people might be familiar with him, some people not. Can we bring in H.H. Holmes, Liz?
Yes, I have him here. What a dark person he is. Wow.
What does he want to say?
He's sorry.
He is sorry.
Mm-hmm.
What is he sorry for?
He killed upwards of 45 people, children. He was a pedophile. He was a serial child molester. He hated women. He had this very cruel streak within him where he liked to watch the emotions of people as they were dying and suffering.
Was there something early on in his childhood that made him like that? His father was a minister in the Methodist church and very strict. Did that impart this behavior on him?
No, his father was a pedophile. His father abused him and many other children, and he couldn't speak out about it because his dad was a minister. He also harmed a lot of animals. So I did a viewing, gosh, I don't know how long ago now. And of course, that video was taken down along with any other controversial videos at the time. But the whole thing about serial killers, and I got it also from a CTT session where I uncovered a life of a serial killer, a past life of a serial killer many hundreds of years ago. And this child was harming a lot of animals. And the reason, do you know why they harm animals, Ronan? Do you know why? Take a guess.
They want to see how the insides work? No,
you see, this is what came through in that CTT session and is coming through for Holmes now. They are so severely traumatized from such a young age that they shut off all their emotions, right? All connections are severed and they're completely numb. Therefore, they spend their life trying to re-engage those emotions. I mean, if you look at a serial killer, their eyes are like bottomless pits. Well, there's a reason for that because there's no emotional connection going on there whatsoever. And then when they start harming animals from a very young age, that is where they are trying to re-engage those emotions. So by inflicting suffering on an animal, right, you are bringing about emotions in this animal, and you're expected to feel empathy for their suffering. So here is where the serial killers are trying to re-engage their emotions by possibly feeling empathy, but it doesn't work. So therefore they go on to harm more and more and more. And then the kills get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then they go on to humans, right? It's all about inflicting power, control, and this trying to get rid of the numbness, because these people have no ability to emotionally connect with anyone. Now that is the basis. And I got that answer through CTT, and you do CTT with me every Monday morning. Those of you that are not in our CTT group, you need to come join us. You're missing out on healing for like $3.50 a week, guys. every Monday morning, 9 a.m. Central, Patreon/remote viewing and beyond. Now, the CTT gave me that information. And then I did more CTT sessions based upon that theory to test it. And that was actually correct. So he was so angry at what his father was doing to him and doing to others, and the fact that he couldn't speak out about it, that he shut himself off.
He built something in Chicago that's been called Murder Castle. How did he come to make that architectural wonder house of horrors?
He had designed that in his imagination from a very young age.
And did he have places that he would direct people and take them to murder them in the house?
So you would have to manipulate people under false pretenses, he's telling me. You'd have to lure them in, the vulnerable, the desperate. And by doing so, you would gain their trust. And then you turn on them. He had absolutely no emotional attachment to any of these people.
Did he have any sexual interest in any of the women that he lured into the castle to murder?
Yes, and he also murdered children as well. But the sexual interest, again, was to re-engage, the attempt to re-engage the emotions. And it just never happens. You know, when you see these serial killers or serial rapists, right? What do they say? Kill me or castrate me because I just can't stop. That was him. He couldn't stop.
What do you believe is the most significant lesson people can learn from your life?
Being able to speak up when you're younger and being able to be heard and believed about abuse.
Did you know coming into this life that you were going to be racked with horror and grief and these tendencies?
Yes, that was designed that way.
Was this based upon a previous incarnation, something you had to work through and did not?
Yes, he's been a serial killer in more than one lifetime. And the biggest test or the life lesson that he has to overcome, which he failed again in this lifetime, is that you have to feel emotions. He is so detached from his emotions. That's the missing link, right? And what is so interesting to me is as we're moving forward, and we did that probe where we looked 100 years out, and I said this the other day on the Channeling Eric video I did about the future of AI, we see a less detached, emotionally connected society. So does that mean we're going to have more serial killers? Because not having that emotional attachment, that's a massive problem for people, right? And that's something he has to learn and somehow re-engage. Now, as he's in the spirit world, you know, we don't experience the full range of emotions in the spirit world, right? We just have joy and happiness and love. But we have to feel all those other emotions, even negative emotions. So by being up in the spirit world and getting our batteries recharged, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to have a lifetime that he creates where he's not a serial killer. He actually quite likes recreating on a soul level because it's pushing the limits to the max to make him re-engage these emotions, which he hasn't been able to do in any lifetime so far.
Is there a rehabilitation program in the afterlife which can help him absolve himself or detach from this feeling and can grow and heal?
That's a great question. Is there a rehabilitation? No. There is learning on the other side, right? And how you may have missed opportunities to re-engage or to fix things or to heal. You know, we've all known somebody that's left with unresolved issues, right? We all know people like that. So that's sort of what you learn in the spirit world. But when it comes down to designing, he's saying in his new lifetime, in his next lifetime, he's going to lure people in via the internet. So he's going to be like one of those online lovers, right?
That we talk to management in the afterlife and tell them to put a stop to this kind of a thing.
Yeah, he's got, yeah, really, Ronan, you're so funny. Yeah, but that's what he's planning on. He's going to lure them in via the internet, vulnerable, lonely ladies. And then
did you not learn anything?
Well, yeah, he's learned that he still has this massive life lesson of having to re-engage these emotions, right? So again, he's going to push himself to the maximum limits. Listen, the thing is, all of this could be avoided, right? If you just come to the CTT class.
What other aspects of his personality were overshadowed by his heinous crimes?
He buried his personality at a very young age. He was very much a chameleon, and he very much mirrored people very well. That was part of the manipulation. So when he would meet someone or a female, he lured in prostitutes as well. But when he would meet them, he would make this false connection of mirroring. Now, anybody that knows anything about narcissistic personality disorder,
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do, right? They mirror because they've completely hidden away their own personalities, that they have to mirror you or, you know, the person that they're with as a guide to moral behavior, right? So he would mirror their personalities in order to trap them in, like, oh, you're my long lost friend. Oh my God, we're just alike, right? Aren't we always attracted to people who are just like us?
That is a common tactic among serial killers, to try to be more affable to them.
Creepy, huh?
We'll write a letter to management after this and see if we can't put a stop to this type of a thing. Looking back on your life, were there any actions that you wish you had done that you didn't get to do in the life of H.H. Holmes?
He wished that he could have, you know, just experienced this normal childhood instead of this deviancy hidden behind religion. His father abused many children and also would make him abuse the children with him. So even as a child, right? This is how creepy his background is. Even as a child, when there would be younger children in the church or the groups, he was used as the one to lure the children in, and he would also direct them to behave sexually. So yeah, no wonder he's so twisted.
Did he create like 45 or more additional soul entanglements by murdering these people? And does he need to perform penance in future incarnations towards these people?
So that's a great question. Yeah, all of these were contracts, right? As much as we hate to admit it, even those terrible, terrible crimes of murder and, you know, molestation, all of that, these are still within soul contracts. And for those of you who have lost someone that has been murdered, think about all the emotions that you feel with that person being murdered, right? It's just so emotionally charged. You want to kill them. You want to get revenge. You want them to burn. You want to burn them alive yourself, right? So just think about all of that. And what he's saying is forgiveness. Like, he's got to learn how to forgive himself, forgive them, forgive all these disastrous contracts that are being made. It's just about forgiveness all the way around.
So there's an opportunity for forgiveness of the souls that he has injured. But what about the souls he's about to injure as he comes back in a new incarnation?
Well, so he says that forgiveness is already there, because if it wasn't there, see, forgiveness in the spirit world and forgiveness on the earth plane are two very different emotions. Forgiveness is something that's just given freely in the spirit world, right? So he's saying they've already forgiven him, because if they wouldn't make the contracts with him in the first place if they hadn't. However, forgiveness on the earth plane runs so deep, and it's the earth plane forgiveness that they have to achieve. Not only forgiveness for him and the people he's harmed, but also forgiveness from those that have had their loved one missing. Yeah, so he's going to recreate serial killer again, which is quite scary. I hope I don't run into him.
How can the journey towards healing and transformation in the afterlife impact the souls that you've contributed to their evolution? So my theory is he's murdered all these people and there's been absolution and forgiveness on the other side, but what's the goal then to kill more people when he comes here?
It's about recreating emotions. Well, so his goal is to find this way to engage his emotions again, and his self-love and his empathy and those sorts of things. Sadness, like when people disconnect, they even disconnect from the negative emotions. It's not just the happy emotions, they disconnect from all emotions. And so therefore you inflict pain on others in order to try and re-engage. And he, part of that, it's just like a screenplay down here, right? It's just so 3D.
All right, Liz, thank you very much. H. Holmes, we're going to write to somebody about you.
I don't know who we're going to write to. I mean,
we're going to talk to upper management and see if we can't do something about that. Thank you so much, Liz. And H. Holmes, go to the principal's office.
Yeah, message in a bottle, I think, Ronan. You'll have to write it and put it in a bottle and drop it in the ocean. Maybe somebody will pick it up there.
All right. Thanks, Liz. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.